Let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Merely Bo, the Great Z. How you living here on a Thursday, brother?
Yeah.
See, I
Dude,
moved
so
the girl
when I
over
think
there
we're down a
yesterday.
little.
He messed with your
Messed with
headphone
it.
set
If I
because
play
we
at
moved
your
it.
level, dude, I will be deef.
Well, do you just think of the collateral damage of 3+ hours in addition to your 2
Yeah.
every day?
I know.
And so, like, my wife sometimes she'd be like, I know you can hear me. I'm like, I can't.
I don't know if I can, actually.
I don't
you can
know
tell
that
her,
I can anymore.
play this segment.
Yeah.
I sat in that chair yesterday.
Yeah.
I almost fell out of the chair as soon as I
I've always liked it loud because I like to hear like the echo. So I've always liked, like, just in general, I've preferred it that way. But then I think the byproduct of doing that over now what is it? A 25-year television and radio run, I guess now? I guess I am that old.
Catches up.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it. That over that time,
No, I know.
we've lost some of the ability to hear.
Some, yes.
Yeah, it's
affected-
slipping.
Listen, Mo
Slip sliding
Pedman's way
away.
past you.
Well, because I've been in here when I follow him, and then that's even for me. So I can't imagine. Like, if you ever followed Pedman, you might just be
Get me out
like
of here.
Michael J.
Makes
Fox.
me feel good. It makes me feel like my ears are still.
You're doing good.
They're doing okay.
You remember Michael J. Fox when he turns on that booster with the guitar in Back to the Future? It's a little bit of that. Like, he just
blast
straight
right
through.
it.
That's the way that goes. It's another perfect day out here. I mean, we've had so many of them. This has been a good run.
Yeah,
in
great. Well, we're
August and
spending it in
September.
here working.
Well, we are. Yeah, we did. We are.
We do this every day. I don't know. I told him today, you got to get over this.
I don't know. I don't sense
No.
you're not getting over it.
And he agreed with me.
I don't think he's ever getting over it.
It's what we've been tasked in life
Did
to
you
have
not
to do.
agree with me?
Which part?
You said I'm not
That
getting
would-
over this anytime soon either.
Oh, and I said that whatever I get over it, add 6 years for him. Like, whenever's my point of like, okay, fine, whatever, add 6, and I'll be supportive of you.
Thank you.
I got your back
As you
on
should
all
be.
of that. I got that. Yeah, so here we are. It's a Thursday. It's Raven Week. It's rolling on. Practice today was at 1:45. It's expected to end here in the next 12 minutes or so. Quinshon Judkins is in the building today and is out there with the team for practice right now.
It's his first practice since minicamp.
I mean, I was just going to ask you, like, it's funny, like, I hear people say, well, it's the easiest position to be able to jump in and be able to contribute. And theoretically, it probably is. I don't know.
In some fashion.
In some way, yeah. But in terms of like the full boat of what is needed to be able to be the full-time back, that ain't it. There's no way.
No, but you saw, Rocket Sanders came in and had just joined our team. Now, you could say that he was in more football shape probably after going through a complete preseason with the Chargers, but he was able to come in and be our goal line back right away. So I do think, if he feels well, that there will be some kind of a role for him this week. I would expect him, like, if you're thinking he's jumping in and he's going to be a 20 carry a game guy, I would not expect that. That I would not expect.
No, there's going to be a ramp-up period, and it hits when you say what you just said, that this is his first practice since minicamp.
Yeah.
And you realize that this all happened a week before training camp started. And so this has been kind of hanging. And then we've been since Philly, which is now, 3 weeks?
So
Plus?
You had the whole week of the Rams, the whole week in between, the
All
whole
the game
of
week.
practice for the game week. Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost a month, really.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Like Sunday will be a month from that game.
right. And so there's no question the role that he's going to have, or the hope is the role that he has as this goes forward. But right now it's still kind of probably some training wheels as they figure out exactly what they're going to do.
Yep. Yeah. And I think that they'll be able to put certainly some level. He's going to have, as I said, he will have a role. And as he should. He will have a role. And I think it will be excellent that we get him back. Our offensive line's got to do a better job of blocking, frankly, or it's not going to make a huge difference. Doesn't matter who's back there. But if they do, then, yeah, you've got a situation where I think, Quinshon Judkins can play a nice role, and it'll ramp up. And then eventually I think he is going to be a 15 to 20 carry a game guy.
Yeah.
That's what he's brought in here to do. I mean,
That's
we still
the gig.
look at this every day.
Yeah, I know it.
He's-
By
he's
the
the
way,
big
there's
guy.
I think
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know a few things you don't know around here. But yesterday they were doing the
Yeah.
measurings.
I mean, it's appropriate.
Yeah, I mean I love him, but it's yeah.
He's in the league and not with us.
What you did guess the scores yesterday?
Yeah, dominated.
What was the record?
I believe it ended up being 11-5.
What
What
a heater to start the year.
There
for
was
you.
one bit of contention. Here, I'll let it doesn't matter because I won the weekend. We'll let Bo rule on this.
All right.
So
I won't have you present it because that will be. I'll be.
I
able
won't
to see
lead it
through
at all.
I'll see through your leading. You lead even when you don't try to lead.
I'm going to try to not lead. How about that?
I think now you're going to overcorrect, and now I'm going to know you're not leading.
Here we go. Well, we'll just have to deal with that.
Go ahead. All right.
Niners
Okay.
play. Who do they even play this week?
New Orleans.
They play New Orleans.
New
or
Orleans.
At New Orleans.
At New Orleans.
Yep.
Okay. And so
Did you ask if I'm not there? Did you ask? Does this appear that they know that Brock Purdy is playing or not?
Yes. I said, does the line indicate that Brock Purdy's playing?
Yeah. Yep.
He said yes. So then I guessed 7.5.
Yeah.
So it was 6.5 for Arizona.
Yep.
Niners are better than them.
Niners
I'm
are
gonna guess
better.
7.5.
7.5.
So
And it's
then
like-
he goes, well, maybe they don't think he's playing well. So then I came back with
I thought because New Orleans is arguably the worst team in the
Sure,
NFL,
sure.
I couldn't remember the score from the week before.
Right. Right.
I'm thinking this is a 9 or 10.
So then I came back and I was like, but it was 4. So then I came
was
back
like
and
3.5,
said, that's
I
what I
think.
said. I said 4 and I got it because it was 3.5.
Yeah.
So I said, which is clear indication they know he's not playing.
Yeah, they know he's not playing, or they certainly are. That certainly
Yes.
makes it seem that.
So
they
he
know
wanted
he's
to throw that out. I was like, no, I still should get credit.
I just said we should throw it out. You already won for the week.
I went for it, so now I'm fine with it. But at the time, it was
Yeah,
in
you're
the
just like,
balance.
wait, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, yes, clearly, if I were being the administrator in that moment and you had asked that question, which
would have said,
I knew that
he's
you had
out.
asked that question, I would say they clearly think he's out.
Yeah, and then
Because
I
I
would
would
have
have
said
said.
I misread the score.
That's
I would
'cause
have-
I
it
fully
felt
admitted
like-
that on the
Yeah,
air.
no, you're
No,
good.
you're good. You're good, Gibbon.
Yeah, like
nobody's
that's-
saying anybody did anything wrong here.
That feels like a 7.5 minimum.
Minimum.
if he's going to play.
Yeah.
And by the way, I'm fully comfortable with it at 3.5 for a little preview for the
with
scores.
Mac Jones.
I'm fine with it. What did you make of ours?
Big.
Robust for week 2.
I'll be honest. It scares me because
That's
I
why-
would think 100%. Like, who in the world wouldn't think with Flacco we'll find our way inside that number, even if it's a back door. We could be down 18
That's right.
and find our way inside that number late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So that makes me a little nervous.
Well, so before the show started, and I asked you about the scores. I was curious. One of my favorite segments. I hate missing it, and I was curious how it went. And before the show started, I asked you, I said, did it seem to you that what you just described, they know? Because there's a couple of them this week that to me don't make sense. That's one of them.
Yeah. What else? I don't know if I got any teams wrong. I had some wrong on some numbers that were bigger than I thought they were going to be.
So the two that jumped out to me, other than ours, was
Ours is scary
is the
to me
most
because it
for
feels
that.
to me like we're either going to just win outright or it could
Bombed.
be yes, which I don't want. Nobody wants.
So the two that jumped out to me of was Miami minus 1.5. They were the most incompetent team. They host New England.
I actually may have gotten that one wrong. I had New England. I
New
think.
England by 1.5, maybe
Yeah.
something like that.
That one I may have gotten the team wrong. No, I got that right. Oh, I'm dialed.
Yeah, that one I was like,
You paused for a while on that one. Jacksonville, Cincinnati.
Oh yeah, way off on that. I was off.
did you have it bigger?
Oh, much
Way bigger, yeah.
I had it around 7.
Yeah. I thought that would be a 4.5er, and it's 3.5.
So you'd have gotten it.
I
You
would have been in the
guessed-
vicinity.
You would have guessed better.
Yeah.
That's moved. That has changed a little bit.
It's still 3.5, isn't it? Bengals 3.5.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it was 3.5 yesterday.
Okay. The other one that I was like, geez, really? Oh, Denver.
Denver.
The Denver
who?
Indy game. Denver's favored by 1.5
Yeah,
after an entire offseason of Denver's going to win the Super Bowl.
I was off on that one.
They were really pedestrian in week 1, but you think, okay, well, they'll get it together. And, like, Denver just 1.5.
I think I went 3.5
Indy?
on that one.
Yeah. That one was a little bit
was a bit of an
surprising
attention
to me.
getter.
Is there anything else? Everything else is kind of where I thought it would be, I think. I did think, like, my God, the football gods to Arizona could not have been kinder. To open New Orleans on the road and then get Carolina at home in week 2.
The NFC West schedule is pretty good.
Man.
The NFC West teams, I think you could end up getting 3 of them in the playoffs because they play out of division. I think they get the NFC South and the AFC South, don't they? Can you pull up their whole schedule?
Yeah, hold on. Let me grab Arizona's while I'm here. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they get the NFC South and the AFC South. So it's Titans, Colts, Texans. Yeah, and then it's the NFC South. Yeah, that's exactly it. So those the Ramets, all those teams, Ramets,
they probably feel
Niners,
like they're going to go 5-3, 6-2 in those 8 games.
All of them do. I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, I think Arizona on the surface feels like the weakest of those teams, but I don't know. Maybe Seattle's right there with them. It's hard to say.
I feel like people like them a little bit. We'll have to see.
Like who?
Like Arizona. I know they kind of lulled to sleep in that game a little bit against.
They were pretty clunky.
They were pretty clunky.
Yeah,
but
I just think Kyler is such a choice. Like Petzing, like trying to make sure that you put that type of. Drafting a quarterback like that is so specific for what he's going to do. Right. That's why Cliff wanted him because he's like, I can work with that, and that was it. But it's you really have to build something around him, and he's been so dynamic at times. But yeah, their schedule. I mean, look at from Arizona. If they can get to 2-0 this week, they're at Niners next week, Seattle at home.
That sounds like that's going to be Mac Jones. It sounds like
Mac Jones for a little bit.
A month of Mac Jones.
Right. So it's at the Niners and Mac Jones. Then it's Seattle at home, Tennessee at home, at Colts. I mean, they could be – it wouldn't be shocking if they were 5-1 after 6 weeks.
No. The NFC West schedules are they have the easiest. And that's why I still think that winning your division – is an automatic where they're like, oh, no, let's just have the best 17 because that skews it so much.
I've always been on the opposite side of it, but the way that, as you, to me, I just record and do it. And you've always gone with the division needs to have preference. And for the example that you just gave is the reason that I give pause to my thought because this is so imbalanced, and it's just luck of the draw.
Yeah,
like the luck of the draw
every year it's cyclical.
Yeah, the luck of the draw is that right now the NFC South and the AFC South are really down,
and you get them both.
And so that's it's just a tremendous.
Whereas we get the NFC North,
we have the 2 hardest.
Hard. Yeah.
You have the most difficult. So it's that's what you can't do a truly balanced schedule in football because and it's weird how some divisions are just. Isn't it weird how the 2 the 2 Norths, the AFC and the NFC, for the last couple of years, and looks like we're headed that way, are going to be among the best divisions.
NFC East is solid. NFC West has been solid. The NFC South has been kind of laggard. Now when they had Brady, but it was still a little blip. It was still kind of a one division team.
Yeah, even the NFC and AFC West have been really good the last few years.
Yeah,
tons of talent in there. So yeah, you're probably that's probably the best.
I think you could have
example.
If it was pure. Now, the wild cards are pure record.
Yeah.
But that's why I think you have to protect against teams that play. There'll be a division that our division, for example, is very hard. Now, I don't think that somebody's going to get so beat up that you're going to win our division at 9-8 or 10-7, but it's possible because our division, those are 6 hard games, and then you've got 4 hard games. 10 of your 17 are hard games. Not to mention, you're going to get in the AFC East, you're going to get a Buffalo.
Yeah.
You could say the rest of that division's a little bit easier, so it's a bit of a respite. But if 11 of your 17 games are very hard, it's a much different schedule than what some of these other people are playing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When you pull up an NFC West schedule right now and you go, okay.
That's why we said from a fantasy defense standpoint, the NFC West teams might be better fantasy defenses than you think because they have that built into their schedule.
I just had that conversation with Beamsy today on the way to school. So he had Seattle's defense. last week because that was like his NFC team. I had him pick NFC teams. And so Seattle's at Pittsburgh this week. And I said, I'm probably not crazy about that matchup for you. There might be some other ones out there.
Yep.
And he's like, well, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, for example, the L.A. Rams, who have a really good defense anyway, they get sacks, interceptions, all that stuff. They're at Tennessee.
Yeah, that's
perfect. That's rookie quarterback, no pass catchers. And he's like, well, I don't want to drop Seattle. I like the Seahawks. I'm like, you can't be emotionally involved in this, bud.
Not in fantasy. No,
you can't. You can't root for. And I think in a way that especially for like if you don't, even for those who live in NFL towns, that has made it, number one, positively, it's opened up the NFL to so many people, and I think it's a big part of the popularity is everybody's watching their guys. But the one byproduct of it is you aren't just stuck to your team in your town. You're also rooting for your fantasy team.
Yeah, you're rooting for
every
your
week.
And every game typically has a guy that you either have or a guy you're playing against, and so you care about that. Yeah, between fantasy and gambling, I mean, and
I hate that. One of the things I do, and that's now I'm only in one league, but there were times when I was in a couple of leagues.
Yeah,
and I would hate having. I would always try to draft the same players, even if it was at a disadvantage to me, just so I didn't have to pay attention to too much.
Oh no,
I know. Well, no, but you got the big brain.
Yeah,
you can manage 6 teams, guys all over the place. I can't do that.
Yeah. You could do.
I'm a simple man.
No, you're not.
I'm a simple man.
No,
one team.
You're refined. You're elegant.
Well, I don't know about any of those things.
I just look at your wrist right now, and I say I think you can manage a few things.
No, I can't do anything.
If not, you can hire somebody to do it for you.
No, that's not true. All right, we'll get some updates on the Brown side of things from the Baltimore side of things. They're on the field now as well. Matabuke, he returned to practice. Isaiah Likely and Patrick Ricard did not.
Yeah, still out, which is big. I mean, Likely had a very good season last year for them. Ricard is really kind of one of those, straws that stirs the drink. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler.
He's always been a problem for us.
He has been a problem for us, and he's just big, and he really helps them in their run game. And, yeah, they're going to be without him. So Charlie Kohler last week picked up 31 snaps, so he kind of took the role of both Ricard and Likely as that second tight end or extra fullback.
You guys ever do this thing where you hear a word or a person's name in a film or a television show, and then every time you hear it, you say it in that voice? So every time I hear Patrick Ricard, I think of old school Frank Ricard. I think of Farrell in that.
Yeah.
And anytime I see the word Tampa, I think of Stevie in Eastbound.
Tampa.
Yeah. Every time. And I do the same thing with Myrtle. Anytime I see Myrtle, it's Myrtile. For McConaughey in Eastbound and Down. I do that every single time. So there you go. Obviously, not lost on us that 24 years ago our world changed forever, the 25th anniversary of 9/11. There's not anybody who's of a certain age who doesn't know where they were and remember it vividly.
Yep.
And I know my kids, and I'm sure anybody who's got kids in school today, they do a little thing and kind of explain the importance of it and what it all means. And especially in the last, this is a troubling time right now across the board. And I was thinking about this in regard to 9/11 of the way that this country came together after.
Yes.
And we can only hope that we can get back to that point, because we were just bathed in patriotism and bathed in taking care of each other and having each other's back in a way that never in my life previously were we. And it sucked that it took that type of tragedy to get to that point. We're obviously a long way from that now. But that was kind of my thought as we came on this anniversary of this was, God, that was such a time of I got your back. And you think of the people who were there, the bravery of going into those burning buildings and all of it. Just the first responders, unbelievable stuff, and never want to lose sight of it.
No. And I think in sports served as a very big unifier as well coming out of that. I remember the Patriots game, and they ran out with
Joe
the flag.
Andrews.
That was – absolutely. And you hope that right now at a time where, boy, do we need it, we can come together as well.
Yeah. Bush piping it.
Yeah, throughout the first pitch.
Jeez.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was a great one. It's an all-timer. Certainly is an all-timer. So just
that story, by the way, that piece done on him a couple years after that play, like he wasn't going to throw from the mound.
Yeah.
And someone they're underground, like getting ready, and they're like, "You're going to throw from the mound, right?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Okay."
Yeah.
It's only the most important throw the history of the world's ever seen.
Yeah.
That doesn't really matter in the grand scheme
No.
of things, but everybody
symbol.
needs it to connect.
Yeah.
Yes.
He went down there and he took a couple of throws in the bullpen
yeah.
underground at Yankee Stadium, and the rest is history. Piped it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, it was a lot of really special moments came out of really an ultimate tragedy. And never lose sight of those who were the first responders on that day. All right, lots to get to. It's a matchup day for us. We'll do offense versus defense and vice versa. Z's going to sit down with Harold Fannin Jr., who really was one of the stars of Week 1, and we think it's only the beginning of things to come for him. And then it is a Mailbag Thursday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily, and you can get your questions into Gibbe at Browns_Daily. You can also hook up with the fellows on the YouTube chat, and you can do it there as well, and we will take care of that. Coming up next, we'll take a look at our offense versus We're off and running on a matchup Thursday edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, we got something exciting here. Play Ohio Lottery's new $5 win big scratch-off chance to win $100,000. If you don't win, just scan that ticket for a second chance to win big. Enter the big game second chance promotion to win great pro football prizes, including Cleveland game tickets, even tickets to the biggest game of the year. If football is your passion, win big is your game, only from Ohio Lottery. Lottery players subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly. Go to your favorite Ohio Lottery retailer today. Get your hands on the new $5 scratch-off. It's called Win Big. You can win $100,000. If you don't, you can enter to win game tickets and other prizes. Get yours at your favorite Ohio Lottery retailer. Remember to play responsibly. Time now, we head to the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here's your offensive coordinator, Tommy Reese.
Think about Cincinnati, and do you think just overall offensively you need to find more explosive play?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're always striving to be explosive. They played a lot of too high last week, which definitely challenges that explosiveness in a lot of different ways, right? Like down the field throws, run after the catch, explosives. That helps. You have a 20-play drive, a 15-play drive. Those are hard to sustain throughout the course of a season. So finding ways to do that is definitely, part of an offense's identity. For the first part of your question, I thought Joe played a good game for us, delivered the ball accurately, delivered the ball to a lot of different players, found outlets and checkdowns when needed. So we just got to continue to build the rhythm and the timing with the rest of the group. That counts for Joe as well, to make sure that we continue to build the rapport to sync up some of those plays that are really close to hitting that just found a way to not, last Sunday. So continue to get back to work. We've had a good first day of practice and, get ready for Baltimore.
I mean, you guys write the game plan on Tuesday, and then yesterday was the first day of work. So how difficult is it to incorporate a player who comes available after that?
Right. Yeah, I think, we are around these guys, a good chunk. So you have opportunities to find ways to get install. Obviously for Q, we'll take it day by day to see how he continues to progress in practice. Take some extra work to make sure that we can catch him up after a Wednesday practice. But, Thursdays and Fridays are really pivotal days throughout the week. So finding ways to make sure that we get him the proper work to give him an opportunity moving forward.
You had him here Monday and Tuesday. Just could you know how much he retained from the playbook and everything from the summer?
Yeah, I think definitely there's a good starting ground for him. When you get into the stream of a season, the one positive is you're not trying to digest, 7 or 8 installs like you would in training camp. You have a finite number of plays, within a game plan. There will be carryover in terms of the terminology that so for him, it's really focused on, all right, we have a new playbook for this week's opponent. Let's try to master that instead of saying, all right, well, here's our 7 installs at training camp. That's a little bit more daunting than one game plan.
I knew that you can get him ready to play at least a package of plays.
Yeah, we got to see how he progresses, right? I mean, there's the physical part of it. There's the player's health part of it. There's the mental part of it. I mean, there's so many different aspects when you're looking to prepare a guy. We have a lot of trust in all the different facets of our organization that will help get him there. And, we'll just monitor as it goes this week. And, hopefully it reaps good benefit. But, we'll take it one day at a time and see where it goes.
When you look at the film from that first game, what can be done to improve the running game?
Yeah. Missed opportunities in the run game for sure. We need to be able to take advantage of if teams, play us a certain style to take advantage of looks that are advantageous. We need all 11 in the run game. The quarterback's making sure we're in the right IDs, the backs making sure we're on the right tracks, the line working the right combinations. Like, it is such a nuanced part of offensive football that, we just got to continue to coach our tails off on the details of it to make sure that our guys are understanding where we're going. But, they're definitely frustrating to have some misses there and need that balance to make sure that we can, sustain drives and sustain series.
With the way you guys used Harold Fannin on Sunday, do you feel like you're just kind of scratching the surface with all the different ways you can deploy him?
Yeah, Harold's done a nice job of, as we've talked about him before, coming in and owning the different things we've asked of him. That position, like I think I said last time, you get asked to do a lot in that role. His skill set allows you to ask even more of him in that role. So excited about how he performed in his first NFL game. I think you felt that through practice, but you're never really quite sure until you get out there. And, continue to push him and continue to find ways to get him to be a really impactful player for us.
You put a number as to how many different places he could line up in your playbook?
There's only 11 spots, so, probably less than 11, I guess.
Dylan, you specifically, not knowing what until he gets out there. Catching the ball wasn't something necessarily he did a lot of it coming out of Tennessee. How has he sort of grown, and what was Sunday maybe just the tip of the iceberg in terms of?
Yeah, I'll give a lot of credit to our coaches on that one. That was definitely part of the developmental part with Sam when he got here, trying to work those things, find ways. We want our best players on the field, and usually at running back there's one of those guys, a little bit like quarterback. But if we can find different roles and different ways for him to game, that's impactful. Like the game we just discussed, I don't know how many wide or swing routes we threw to Sam that turned up into 9, 10, 11-yard gains that became kind of pseudo runs, just different ways to get him involved when things aren't clicking as much as you'd want him to. So again, frustrating on the run game part. I got to get that fixed. But to make sure that you still don't lose sight of some of those players in different ways that they can impact games.
When you look at what you guys were able to do in the past game, even without necessarily explosive, but what can you take from what you did and turn it into what facing this Ravens defense, using that going forward?
Yeah, you just want to build off the success you have. Felt like we did some good things attacking certain parts of the field. Feel like we created some explosives and some third down situations, which was positive. Felt like we put our guys in the right spots for what their abilities are. The Baltimore presents a whole different level of challenges, just not because they're any different, but just how they approach the game is a different scheme, a different aggressiveness on defense. So, we got a great job of understanding their coverage techniques. They have really good players in the secondary at all spots, inside, deep part of the field, outside. They have a good rush plan, which impacts the passing more than people probably realize. So, we got to own those opportunities, own those situations. And, again, we have a lot of belief in those guys, put them in the right spots to make the plays.
All right, there you go. Offensive coordinator Tommy Rees from the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Time for the first part of the matchup, presented by Ballybet. Ballybet Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. Our offense versus the Ravens defense. Dr. Z.
Well, it's a tough one. You just go on the week one stats. Obviously, they're the worst defense in the league, right? They give 497 yards to the Buffalo Bills in that shootout, 389 passing, over 100 rushing. But that's not who they were a year ago. A year ago, they were the number one rushing defense in the league. They had the number 2 in terms of sacks. They were top 10 in total yards, top 10 in points per game. They were good on fourth down. They were good at goal-to-go situations. They were the number one defense in basically every category from Week 11 on last year.
Yeah.
So a little bit of an anomaly there. They're going to play a 3-4. That is their base defense. Nnamdi Madubuike, he is their big sack getter up front. He has 19.5 sacks the last 2 seasons. Then they have just a lot of beef up there. So in the middle, Travis Jones is 340 pounds. They got John Jenkins, who's 360. Broderick Washington, 315. So they're big there. Their outside pass rusher, Adafe Owe, who had a career-high 10 sacks in 2024. And on the other side, Kyle Van Noy, who had a career-high 12.5 sacks in 2024. So those two, Van Noy's got 21.5 sacks in his 2 seasons there with the Baltimore Ravens. Those guys can rush the passer, and then the linebackers, they've got the incomparable Roquan Smith, along with Trenton Simpson, who was a third-round pick back in 2023. Roquan Smith, 7 straight 100-tackle seasons, 4 straight with 150-plus, 3-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro. Back end, man, they have added a lot of talent here. You've got Nate Wiggins, their first-round pick a year ago, who's a solid player. Marlon Humphrey was a Pro Bowler again last year for the 4th time. He had 6 interceptions and 15 passes defense. Wiggins, in his first year as a starter, only started 6 games. The first-rounder last year had a pick and 13 passes defensed. Then they brought in Chidobe Awuzie. He has career 7 picks and 66 passes defense. They bring in Jair Alexander as well. He is a 2-time Pro Bowler, 2-time All-Pro with 12 picks and 70 passes defense in his young career. They've got great safeties. Well, certainly one of them, Kyle Hamilton, first-team All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowler. And then next to him is Malachi Starks, their first-round pick. And typically their picks have been very, very good.
Quite good.
So they're going to blitz. Zach Orr is not afraid to blitz you. Actually, in week 1, they blitzed all out more than any team in the NFL. 13 snaps of cover 0, 16% of the time. That is the highest in the league. Bears were second, in case you were wondering about that. But they're not afraid to bring the blitzes at all, quite frankly. And so they're a team that's played more middle of the field open, and that's because of that blitz percentage. So that's cover 2, cover 4, cover 6, and the cover 0. About 42% of the time they're in cover 1, cover 3, which is single high safety. So look for us. Some of the chunk plays we get whereas when you're going to clear out on one side and run either a deep over or what looks like an over, and they break it back to the outside because you clear out that vertical corner. If you can get behind and beat that linebacker to the sideline or that dropping defender, that's where you can get some big chunk plays. So look for us to try to get some of those against those defenses this week. But an aggressive defense, they are tough to run on because they've got, as I said, the 5 down linemen basically every play. And they've got, as I said, a lot of beef up there. They will blitz, though. They're not afraid to do it. The interesting thing about them is their overall blitz rate is not that high, but when they did blitz, it was cover 0. That was their preferred blitz. So they blitzed 20 times in the game against Buffalo. Of those 20, 15 were cover 0 all-out blitzes. So they are not afraid. When they're going to dial it up, they're going to bring it. So we've got to be ready for that. So that's a quick game. That's where some chunk plays can happen if you make somebody miss a tackle. I like the idea of, Dylan Sampson or Isaiah Bond or Judy or Fannin or Njoku in space against those cover 0s, but we've got to be ready for it. They're going to try to heat us up.
Yeah, they are. And, it was such an interesting game with them in Buffalo because they're dominating the game, and you just are like, all right, let's just get to the end of this thing, away we go. And then Buffalo just kept chipping away at it. And as it went along, Allen started to have more and more success. I mean, he threw it 46 times for 394 in their game.
Yep.
And obviously there's some more chemistry in terms of the guys who are there on the receiver side, although Palmer's a new guy for them. The run game, it was 31 for 108, but they threw it 46 times for 390 and moved it up and down the field. And I think one thing for us that I keep coming back to on this thing is Joe looked great. I mean, there wasn't much in terms of inaccuracy. Most of the balls were exactly where you'd want them to be. And I think you saw in the opener against Cincinnati, and obviously it's a massive step up in defensive talent from Cincinnati to this Ravens operation, even though Buffalo had some success on them big time in the fourth quarter. The one thing that I think will travel is the way that we kind of went about our business. If you think about the impact that Harold Fannin had and the amount of targets that he got, we didn't really even unlock Chief that much in the game against Cincinnati. And so there's some matchups probably there where there's a little bit. I'm curious to see what Judkin's impact can be and how much that impacts the game. One thing that we think you potentially – you mentioned this on Monday. Isaiah Bond had the one target. He had the one catch for, was it 5?
One catch, 5 yards, just like a kind of bubble screen.
Just kind of popped it out there, and that was it. But his impact was felt in terms of how they were having to deal with him. So does that open up stuff underneath? We didn't talk a whole lot.
I want to throw him the football because these are guys right now, if they're, their coverage numbers are obviously terrible in week 1. So Nate Wiggins gave up 86% completions in coverage, 78 yards, 113 rating. Awuzie, 75% completions, gave up a touchdown, 129 rating. Malachi Starks gave up 18 yards a catch, 100% completions, 119 rating. Kyle Hamilton, 62% completions, touchdown, 115 rating. Marlon Humphrey, 67% completions, gave up 89 yards in coverage. That was a game high, 110 rating. Jair Alexander gave up 83 yards on 3 catches. 100% completion and coverage, 119 rating allowed. So their secondary struggled. So we've got to take some shots. We're going to have to score to beat this team. I do think it's going to be tough. This is not a game where I expect to see our ground game going. I think you're going to see more of kind of what we saw a little bit, Dylan Sampson, long handoffs being considered part of the ground game because it's just lining it up and running at them is going to be very difficult.
Yeah, they don't have it. So you're going to have to make plays, and luckily you got Flacco back there who can make them. And the other thing for us is we come into this one really healthy. As you were going into this, though, the one thing that I was thinking is you're kind of going through their personnel on defense.
Yep.
I think I have this right. I think it's 8 of the 11 are their drafted guys.
So, Broderick, of the starters, all 3 up front are. Second level, Trenton Simpson and Oweh would be. That's 5. Wiggins, 6. Malachi Starks, 7. Hamilton, 8. Marlon Humphrey, 9.
Might even be more.
That would be it, though. I would think, and it depends who you consider to be who the nickel is going to be, which is my guess is it's Awuzie, who is not drafted by them. So 9 of the 11.
9 of the 11.
Well,
no.
We counted 12.
Yeah,
so it's really
Van Noy and Smith are
9
both
of 12. Yeah,
9 of 12 or 8 of 11, however you want to break it down. But they, to your point, when you're saying when they draft guys, they hit on them. It's just like you and I sitting here and seeing Kyle Hamilton go anywhere but there. Because you knew Kyle Hamilton to be a star. Like, you just knew it. And then he was. And away you go.
So, interestingly, we on defense would be Miles, Mason. Well, Malik, doesn't count, obviously. But our other defensive end, Isaiah McGuire, Alex Wright. Yep. So that's 3. Schlesinger's 4. If we're going to do the same kind of 12 calculation we did last time, Diabate. So far, only Devin Bush and Malik Collins, no. Newsome, yes. Denzel, yes. Delpit, yes. Miles Harden, yes. Hickman, yes.
So what's that number?
So for us, it's 10 out of 12.
10 out of 12?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The only ones out are Devin Bush and Malik Collins.
Do you think it's a coincidence that is our strong unit?
I don't.
I mean, there's something to it. If you're drafting guys and they're starting, and this is how you do it. You have NFL's. It's really hard, but it's pretty simple. You got to hit on picks.
So
Baltimore has really for 25 years they've hit on picks.
Offense would be on our line is Bitonio and DeWand, tight ends Njoku and Fannin, wide receivers Tillman, yes, quarterback no, running back yes.
No. They're 8 of 11, I think, on offense. I did the quick math.
Lamar, yes. Derrick Henry, no. Mark Andrews, yes. Likely, yes. Stanley, yes. Voorhees, yes. Linderbaum, yes. Fa'alale, yes. Rose, their whole line, yes. Zay Flowers, yes. Bateman, yes. So they might be, and Ricard. So they're really like all of them.
Yeah, pretty much. Just Derrick Henry, and then I guess if you consider DeAndre Hopkins a starter, I kind of don't.
He played 18 snaps.
Yeah, he's probably not the guy there. So that's it. But yeah, I mean that in order to be of consequence, that's the minimum requirement, is to be able to have that.
Yep.
All right, second hour of the program, you'll hear from some of the Ravens. We'll do the other side of it. We will do their offense versus our defense. Coming up next, Z sits down with Browns tight end Harold Fannin Jr. That's coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily, presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland.
back to Cleveland Browns Daily, brought to you by Ballybet, an official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Very happy to be joined by one of the young stars of your Cleveland Browns, rookie tight end Harold Fannin. Harold, thanks for being with us. And what was it like go out there, first game in Cleveland, Huntington Bank Field, home crowd, to get a taste of NFL action?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great atmosphere. You know what I mean? I just want to, thank the fans for that. And, obviously family was there. It was great, man. It was great. It was a beautiful day. Things didn't turn out how we expected, but yeah.
Didn't get the result you wanted, but a lot of positives to build on. One of them certainly was you. 7 catches. You tied Tyler Warren, who in Indianapolis also had 7. That's the most catches by a rookie tight end in their first game in NFL history.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is. Very nice, but I still think there's a lot of things for me to clean up. There was more opportunities for me to have more. I definitely say that.
When you watched the tape, what did you like about what you did on Sunday?
My physicality, bringing it to him, my blocking, things like that.
What do you want to work on?
Like I said, just the drop pass I got, I want to clean that up, for the team, for Joe, things like that.
All right. We just saw it for the first time, or the fans just saw it for the first time. Joe Flacco goes out wide. You come in at quarterback, a little wildcat action. Give us the background on that. How'd that come to be?
Oh, man, tried it a few times in camp, and when he actually caught it, I was like, oh, really, man? This is kind of crazy right now, but just a little bit of something, try not to do too much, just a little bit of something. I can see Tommy going inside the playbook a little bit.
All right, I like that, so that's fun. So You go through your first game. What was kind of the biggest difference from being out there compared to a game in college? Is the speed really that much? Do you notice?
No.
No? All right, good.
Probably the players talking, but I definitely just said the atmosphere for me. I went to a smaller school, so, actually having a home crowd that's like, backing you up, not just like, you go to away games like third down. It's like I'm on offense. I can actually hear, and in this big, beautiful stadium. So that's definitely the big.
How many people did you have at the game?
I'll say like 6. Had my cousin, my mom. Nothing too crazy right now. Just warming it up.
All right. So when you kind of went into the game plan and then coming out of it, was it kind of what you expected? I mean, that's a lot of 7 catches, 9 targets. That's awesome. 63 yards.
Yeah. I mean, obviously knew the game plan, so I kind of knew like I'm gonna have a lot of opportunities, but it was kind of quick. I like the way Joe, move around. I like Tommy how he's calling things, especially for me.
Yeah, it was certainly exciting to see. I'm sure it had to be encouraging for you. I mean, you obviously believed in yourself the whole time, but to be able to come out in the NFL in a regular season game, is one of the things. We've seen it all here. We've seen it as we traveled around the country for those joint practices. But to do it in an NFL game, that's got to be pretty affirming. I feel like that's got to be an exciting thing for you and make you say, all right, now I could do a lot more too.
Yeah, it definitely, just kind of helped my confidence, obviously to roll into next week.
All right, turn it into next week. Baltimore Ravens, that's a team, big challenge, obviously. Totally different defensive style than what you saw from the Cincinnati Bengals. Kind of how have you dove into that preparation, and what's that like for you, maybe NFL week to week, the changes, the differences as opposed to college?
I say it's definitely the same. You kind of just got to, turn that page and move on from it. No different, same mentality, go out there, I won't really get into it, but just play our game and just continue to be ourselves.
What did Joe Flacco say to you after the game?
He just told me good game, man. That's really he just said good job, just the start of things.
Is it wild to think about? He's going into his 18th NFL season. He's going back to Baltimore where he played, was a Super Bowl champion. It's the first time he's ever been the quarterback of another team in that stadium, and the defensive coordinator was his teammate in the NFL and is now the defensive coordinator of the Ravens. You played one game. That's got to seem almost mind-boggling.
Yeah, that is crazy. I'm 21, so like hearing somebody say 18 years, that's kind of wild to me. I remember watching him on TV and things like that. So, I'm just glad he's here with us, man. I'm able to play with him.
So when you think about the home game, now you're going to go have your first real road game in the NFL. You mentioned how the crowd, it's going to be the exact opposite in Baltimore. Is that something you enjoy doing when you get a chance to maybe shush the crowd a little bit?
Yeah, man. I'm more of a away game type of guy.
Okay.
I like that type of stuff. I like going to hostile environments and things like that. Especially coming from a smaller school, playing at bigger schools. You know what I mean? Like I just like that. You know what I mean? It's like the things I kind of dream about. Making plays, things like that.
Well, we certainly have seen you make plays. We're excited to see you make a lot more. It has been awesome to kind of watch your development. You could see this coming a mile away. I think from the second you stepped foot out here that you were going to have a big role this season. It's awesome to see you have a great start. Hopefully we get the result we wanted along with some more production from you, and good luck on Sunday.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate you.
All right.
Yeah, it was one of those things where you made this point early on in camp because one of the things that I was like, I'm not sure if we got enough at wide receiver. This is before we had Isaiah Bond, but we were talking about, all right, what the way that Kevin Stefanski always views offensive playmakers is are you a weapon? And how do I take advantage of that mismatch? And so I can do it in a bunch of different ways. I can do it out of the backfield. I can do it at tight end. I can do it out wide. And one thing we saw right away with Harold was his ability to bounce all over offensively and do a number of things. We saw that in camp, and then you saw it in the opener. I mean, I'm not sure that you've had a tight end opener. I know Bowers was great right away, but just the amount of emphasis that the offense was geared towards Harold Fannin and his ability to create mismatches. For some, maybe was surprising. I don't think it was for us, but I think it was for some.
Yeah, well, it's the most receptions by a tight end in week 1 in NFL history, tied with, by the way, Tyler Warren in this class, who was a first-round draft pick. So they both had 7. You saw him as a Wildcat quarterback. You saw him all over the place. You saw him involved in every aspect of this offense, from blocking, which he said he was the most proud about, catching the football. Should have had 8 catches. Should have set the record solo, and he said that. That's the one thing I gotta fix. I can't have that drop. But Harold Fannin was very impressive. Was involved in basically all facets. Was out there for 55 of the offensive snaps, 72% of the snaps he played. Yeah, he's going to be a big time player this year. And, you wonder going forward, what does that tight end room look like for the Cleveland Browns? Because he's going to be obviously a focal point of it. And we got to hopefully we'll get a chief extension here sometime soon to keep those two guys together. But, yeah, Harold Fannin's the real deal. Real deal, beloved by everybody. I mean, the first time Joe Flacco on the out, he's like, 44. Or at that point, he wasn't 40, it was 88. He's like, 88's really good. And he liked Larvin, 84 was the other one he said. But he was very impressed with Harold Fannin right out of the gate, and deservedly so, and it's kind of obvious why. And Kevin Stefanski was like, before the game, I just hope that everything that we see out here goes into on the field in a regular season game, and it did. So that was great to see.
Yeah he is a star in the making. And you think about that path from McKinley to Bowling Green and then staying at Bowling Green.
Yep.
Like, he could have jumped in the portal like Max Clare did and went from Purdue to Ohio State, stuck it out, and now here we go. Cleveland Browns. Pretty good.
Good for us.
Circle story. We win on that one.
Yeah, you wonder if he ends up going to a big-time program and being featured the way that he was, not obviously to the extent at Bowling Green. He set the FBS record for catches and yards, but he probably ends up being a first-round pick. Like, if he was playing in...
Well, if he was the tight end in Columbus last year when they won the national title,
right?
And he had Jeremiah Smith on one side and Emeka Buka on the other, and
it would have been a force there. Yeah,
who do you cover?
Yeah,
don't know who you cover there.
I don't know though. I don't know if I agree with that because if he's at Ohio State,
he's not putting up the numbers.
He's not putting up. Yeah. So
but the numbers are what got him.
He'd
every game he would jump off of scouts' tapes on and they'd be watching him all the time. It's just like Elijah Arroyo and with
Miami.
With Cam. Yeah.
All of a sudden when you were on that stage, I mean, it worked out for everybody. He has an all-time.
It worked
run
out exceptionally well. I think the thing was he showed up and showed out against the best.
Right.
Penn State.
Yeah, but he got to
Texas
do it
A&M
twice.
The bowl game.
It's just twice. If he was, for example, the kid out of Oregon, Terrence Ferguson?
Oh,
Terrence.
Yeah, Terrence.
The tight end from Oregon.
Yeah.
I don't know that he should have gone ahead of Fannin, but because he was in that environment and has good athleticism and all that, and you got to see him against light competition, it's always somewhat of a projection. Like Harold Fannin going to Bowling Green probably cost him a round at least, just because you're saying, okay, you had the 2 good games, but it's still not light competition all the time.
Right. It's not apples to apples all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair, that when you go to those type of schools and you play talent versus talent, imagine him in that run when they're going.
Like if he had a big-time year at Georgia last year.
Yeah. Any of those
or
places.
Texas. Who was the tight end at Texas?
It's a good player. They actually
Gunnar Helm.
Yeah, Helm. Yeah.
Helm. And where did he go?
G-Man's just dropping.
Where is he? Gunnar
Helm. Don't know where's he at?
Is he in Green
Smart
Bay?
Guy? That's right. You don't
them and Ohio State were the two that got the 2 best transfer portal tight ends. I think Indy's is the name of the kid. Indries, who's at Texas, and then Ohio State got Max Clare.
The Titans took him in the 4th round. Gunnar Helm. Yeah, like you throw our boy in there. I think everybody's going to realize very quickly that he is a first-round talent.
Yeah, and I think to buttress your point, the days of these type of guys staying in that level he's the way of the dodo bird. You're just not going to see it. Like he's going to get gobbled up. Someone's going to give him $2.5 million to go play at the high level in Division I. That's the way that sport is headed. Add more fun to your fandom with the Ballybet Sportsbook app. Download today, get 50 back in bonus bets. You place that first wager of 10 or more. Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. We'll do the other side of the matchup coming up next. Our defense versus a very robust Ravens offense. That's coming up next. There's also a mailbag edition of Cleveland Browns Daily. Still time to get your questions into Gibbe and the fellas. And you can do that on the YouTube stream as well. Second hour coming up next. You'll listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Think you know the ultimate Browns fan? Nominate a super fan in your life now for the chance to win 2 tickets and an exclusive trip to Super Bowl 60 in San Francisco. Visit clevelandbrowns.com/fan of the year to nominate today. Time to head to the podium, presented by Vivid Seats. Purchase your official fan experience package today for the ultimate game day. Here's your defensive coordinator, Jim Schwartz.
Jim, you're the only
You're down.
thing on the Browns end who lived through 95. You then went on to Baltimore in 96. So how do you feel about the Ravens celebrating their anniversary with you in town, the Browns?
Is that right? I'm the only person? Wow. You know what? Let me defer those comments for another time because that's not going to matter to anybody on the field. It's not going to matter to our team or their team. You know, people celebrate different things and, you know, different timing and everything else. But we'll keep the focus on the field and the players that are actually going to be playing, not ghosts from 30 years ago.
So how do you duplicate what you did against the Bengals this week?
I don't know. I thought we left a lot of plays. Like we certainly weren't happy with the first drive of the game. You know, we keep track of like not only, you know, different stats in the game, but whether you won a snap or lost a snap, a lot of different things go into it. But over those 14 snaps, we only won like 2 of the first 14. After that, we played really, really well, but it doesn't erase that first drive. So we need to get off to a faster start. You know, and I think that's probably the big thing. It did give a glimpse of what we can be, particularly the, you know, third and fourth quarter, but really started, I guess, the last drive of the first half. You know, I mean, they had 20-some seconds left, a couple timeouts. See a lot of times around the league now because of these kicks, people get in field goal position. I thought we came out to play there, and it carried over to the second half. But, you know, the carryover from last week, I mean, like I said, different players, different schemes, you know, everything there. For us to play well, we're going to have to limit their run game. They're the best run team in the NFL, and that's Derrick Henry, but also Lamar Jackson with the scrambles and design quarterback runs, which, you know, everybody sees a lot of. You know, we're going to have to do a good job on his scrambles, like I say. We're going to have to tackle some of their playmakers, particularly Zay Flowers. They get him the ball a lot of different ways. If we do those things, regardless of what happened last week, if we do those things, we'll set ourselves up for success on Sunday.
Jim, how is Lamar, where does Lamar's biggest improvements come as it, you know, since he's come into the league?
Yeah, I mean, he's been at the top of his game for a few years now. I think everybody, you know, does some things a little bit better as they get older and things like that. But I think most of the improvements he had came early in his career. Now he's just, you know, playing consistently. I mean, you know, doesn't turn the ball over very much. You know, uses his legs when he has to. You know, he's been, and this was probably about 3 years ago or so, he got significantly better versus the blitz. You know, that used to be something that people could do to take his legs away, make him throw quicker than he wanted to. He's a really good deep ball thrower. Saw that last week in Buffalo. You know, that ball to Hopkins right there. You know, we have a lot of respect for him. We know we're going to have to play our very best when he's out there. But, you know, I don't think what we're seeing from him is a recent development. It's been a few years coming, and hats off to him for the improvements that he's made, particularly early in his career.
I think was missing in those first couple guys, and then what did you like most about the second?
Yeah, I mean, in that first series, we had 2 miscommunications. We had a couple missed tackles. We had a penalty. You know, and you know, some of that, I mean, you don't want to excuse it, but some of it, you know, I mean, that crowd was loud, you know, and, you know, it taxed our communication, and we adjusted to it pretty quickly. Plus, they were doing some things. That game was a plethora of sideline and halftime adjustments. I mean, there was a lot going on. Players really did a good job with it. The assistant coaches did a good job with it because we had to change course a couple times because there were some things that they hadn't shown before, different ways they were trying to attack us. We transitioned pretty quickly after that drive, but, you know, early in the season, you're always thinking about tackling. We missed a couple tackles in that drive early in the season, particularly with a loud crowd. You're talking about communication, talking about assignments, you're talking about penalties. We sort of shot ourselves in the foot with all those, paid the price with a touchdown on that first drive, and then adjusted pretty quickly to the game. Tackled pretty well throughout that game, other than that first series, and our communication got better and started seeing us play a little bit better.
I have a question about defensive takeaways. Sunday, the Browns held the lead for only 4.5 minutes of that game. If you go back to last year, for 10 games, you never had a lead, and you held the lead about 10% of the total time last year. So the question is, it's not an excuse, but how hard is it to make turnovers when you're playing from behind?
I mean, it does change it a little bit. I think you have a good point there. When teams are behind, they have to be potentially a little bit more risky, right? They got to fight for extra yards. They have to put some balls in some harm way. They can't afford just to take the check down. They have to be more aggressive to try to score, drop back more, give you more chances for sack strips. So I think all that goes into play. Generally, turnovers is playing physical and playing with speed and effort. And we can concentrate on those things. Play physical, attack the football, and play with good effort, be around the ball as much as we can. And, but there is nothing like having a team behind that's forced to catch up because just by definition, they have to be a little bit more risky. You're down 2 scores in the quarter. You can't check a ball down. You got to hold it longer, or you got to try to fit it in a window maybe that you shouldn't try to fit it into, which gives you a chance for some turnovers. Be good around the quarterback in the pocket. Good chance for turnovers there. Play physical and get guys to the football. If we do those things, turnovers will come.
All right, there is Coach Jim Schwartz on the Browns side of things defensively. Now let's hear from the Ravens. The voices you will hear are that of John Harbaugh, Lamar Jackson, and Mark Andrews. They're courtesy of the Ravens content and production team. Let's have a listen.
In terms of looking back, what an amazing run, and what a era, for the Ravens at the Joe Flacco era. I think, he was in there, and the early part of his career was with Ray and Ed and those guys, and the later part of his career with another set of guys, and he just he's iconic, I think, in Baltimore football history, and so respect that and admire that, and I still keep in touch with him, except not this week. And this week, it's not about that for us as a football team. It's about us getting prepared for a good quarterback that knows how to play the game, that's capable of making plays against you, and we have to be at our very best to defend against Joe and the whole offense.
Just him being in the meeting room and how cool he was with things he would say, and how funny he was. I don't know if people know, but Flack's funny, dog. And he used to have me rolling, man. As a rookie, bro, I used to be like, man, this man just say stuff so nonchalant, and it's great, man. He's a great person to be around.
I mean, there's a lot of love for Flacco and what he's done here, and all the games that he won, and what he did for the city, and but for us, it's about going out there competing, and our defense will be ready.
Obviously, the Ravens' offense very different under Joe Flacco than it is under Lamar Jackson. For more on that matchup, in fact, Ballybet Sportsbook is presenting it. Official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly. For the Browns to beat the Ravens on Sunday, our defense is going to have to do what? And for that, we turn to Dr. Z.
You're going to have to really just try to slow this team down. This is an elite offense. Last year, they were the number 1 rushing offense, number 7 passing offense, number 1 total offense, number 3 scoring offense, 30.5 points per game, number 3 on third downs, number 1 in the red zone, number 3 in goal-to-go situations. Is that good? Yes. As a matter of fact, turns out that is quite good. They're tough. This is a tough out. This is a tall ask. Excellent offensive line. Do you know that last week? Now, they didn't run a ton of offensive plays. I said it again. They ran 51 offensive plays that went for 432 yards.
That's impossible.
I'm not a mathematician, but that's almost 9 yards a play.
Yeah.
They averaged 0.8 points per play. Points per play. Lamar Jackson was just 14 of 19 passing, only had to throw 19 times. They allowed just three pressures as an offensive line. 3 pressures. So they've got Lamar Jackson. He's the best. I think he's might be the best offensive player in the National Football League. 8-4 all time against the Browns. Look at him. Look at the vest. Look at the vest. Is that a vest?
Stop it.
Is that
Stop
where's
it.
that from?
Where's he
that
going?
From the Grove? Yeah,
of course it is.
Yes,
of course
it is. Elite.
Jeez,
Elite. Very
what
good.
a-
Jeez.
Just
It's too
it's
much.
No big deal.
Too much.
It's
You
Thursday.
over there. You over there. Yeah. How about
In
all
here?
the people?
One more?
Let's see,
One more for the kids?
Let's see.
Oh, he
He's
stopped.
waiting.
He
He's
paused.
waiting.
He's paused.
He's waiting. He's waiting.
Come
for
on.
It's dramatic. I got the binocs out.
How dare someone stop him when he's walking?
There is not even a look back.
No.
Oh, boo.
He was distracted.
Boo, yeah. I blame whoever cannot be seen over there is to be blamed.
You saw the movie Snatch, right? With Brad Pitt? Yeah. Bricktop?
Yeah.
Don't ever stop me whilst I'm walking. You know what happened?
Well,
don't ever stop him when he's walking. Come on.
I don't happen to a great many people in that movie. Pigs were involved, and it was not pleasant.
So good.
Not pleasant. So, yeah, they've got Lamar. I think he's the best offensive player in the league, 2-time MVP, coming off of, I think, the greatest season a quarterback has had outside of the great Peyton Manning season, or comparable to it, just different.
It's in that. It's the Marino season. There's a Manning season
And there's a
with
Brady
Denver.
season.
There's a Brady season, I want to say, in 07.
Yep.
And then that one. And those are the ones. I mean, maybe the Mahomes, when he burst on the scene, there's a crazy one, but it's a short list.
It is a short list. And you got Derrick Henry, who has been, right now they've got the NFL's leading rusher, the NFL's leading receiver in Zay Flowers, and then all Lamar did on 19 pass attempts was throw for 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he ran 9 times for 70 yards and a touchdown.
Jeez.
So they're a dominant running team. Dominant, and then they can throw it. And Mark Andrews has been a Browns killer his whole career, 11 touchdowns against the Browns, most against any opponent, scored in both games last year. They're good. They're good. So what we need to do, we need to get their field goal kicker on the field, kicking field goals. We need to get some turnovers. You go back to when we beat them in 23, we beat them there. We've won 4 of the last 7. So we can beat this football team, but we had turnovers. Greg Newsom's pick 6.
Mm-hmm.
Massive. This is going to be a game where you're going to have takeaways if you want to beat them. You say, well, Buffalo didn't do that. Well, Buffalo also has the reigning MVP.
Yeah.
And they're a little bit different in terms of the potency of their offense than we have been in recent memory. So that's it. This is as tough a road to hoe as there is in the NFL. They are going to be physical and downhill. Then they've got play action. All 11 are involved in the run game. It's going to take everybody. Carson Schlesinger, this is going to be a tough game for him. Devin Bush played great last week. Both of those guys, your linebackers. You're going to need Rayshon Jenkins to have a big game. You're going to need Grant Delpit to have a big game. Ronnie Hickman, the safeties, it's going to take everybody. And up front, we've got to dominate like we did in that second half. If we can do that, then we've got an opportunity. But that's what it's going to take.
Yeah. Yeah, I think one of the most it seems like this happens a lot with them. It happened when they drafted Lamar, but it definitely happened when they hired Todd Monken.
Yep.
And we said, no, not him.
Of course not.
Not there. And he was in the Georgia. They win the national championship at Georgia, wants to get back to the NFL. Then every time a job comes open, we're like, please go there. Please go, Todd, take that job. Hire him. And they won't. And I think a lot of credit for what they've become offensively is should be directed at Todd, of course, mostly at Lamar, because what Lamar was good enough 4 or 5 years ago to be an MVP on his talent and the way that he was going about his business. And then he just has continued to elevate every single year to become what he is now, which is kind of the ultimate weapon in the league.
So taking what you said from an anecdotal standpoint and putting a little bit something behind it. So in 2022, he he completed 62.3% of his passes, 2,242 yards, 17 touchdowns, 7 picks, threw for 186 yards per game, had a quarterback rating of 91.1. That's 2022.
Mm-hmm.
That season, he also ran for 764 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Todd Monken takes over in 2023, and I'm going to see if I can. Let me see if I can find this answer out real fast because that's the one piece that I'm missing here. All right, 350 divided by 17, so that's just over 20 points a game.
20, yeah.
All right, so in 22 they averaged 20 points a game.
Okay.
Lamar. Oh, here, I'll give you. I think we can do perfect apples to apples now. You ready? All
Yep.
right, so 20 points a game.
Yep.
Call it. Lamar's pass yards per attempt in 2022 was 6.9.
Okay.
His yards per carry in 2022 was robust. I believe it was 6.8.
Okay.
His total touchdowns per game in 2022 would have been 3 plus 17, which is 20 in 12 games, so under 2 a game.
Under 2, yeah.
20, what did I say, 20 divided by 12?
Yeah.
1.6 a game, and his passer rating was 91.1.
91.1, yeah.
All right, so since Monken's taken over, it's gotten better every year. Ravens' points per game in 23, Monken's first year jumped to 28.4. In 24, it jumps to 30.5. And obviously, week 1 of this year, it's at 40. His pass yards per attempt jumps to 8.0 in 23, and then 8.8 last year. It's 11 through week 1, small sample size.
Yep.
Yards per carry, 5.5 in 23, 6.6 in 24, 11.7 so far this year. Total touchdowns per game, 1.8 in 23, 2.6
Jeez.
last year, 3 so far this year. His quarterback rating goes up to 103, then 120, and is currently 144. So he's improved his pass yards per attempt, yards per carry, pass rating each season since Monken was hired as the OC.
And that's an incredible thing for somebody who'd already won an MVP.
Yeah.
To say, trust this guy, he'll make me better.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of credit. It's Monken, but it's also a lot of credit to Lamar for really dialing in and making himself better to where now he's the ultimate weapon.
He is. I mean, yeah, listen, they're big favorites for a reason. This is an excellent football team, but we have a defense and a defensive line that can be incredibly disruptive. And if we can do that and generate some takeaways, we can go out there and beat them. I think their defense is reeling a little bit. They're banged up. Jair Alexander, I don't think is really ready to play. There's certainly been a lot of talk about that coming out of the Baltimore side of things. No, Malachi Starks, while he is a very good player, still a young safety. He was a first-team All-American, was very good at Georgia, but still, that's his second game. And they've got 3 pass rushers. They only had 1 sack in week 1, so you're hoping that they can, you can keep some protection as well and give an opportunity to light this defense up.
Elk & Elk Serious Lawyers, Serious Injuries. Call 1-800-ELK-OHIO for a free case for you. Elk & Elk's proud partner of your Cleveland Browns. We have some fantasy advice with Dr. Z coming up for week 2. Still time to get your mailbag questions in as well. Send those to Gibbe at Browns_Daily. Also, on the YouTube chat, we can get those there, youtube.com/Browns. You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Ballybet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Fill your game day cooler with the refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Smooth, real brewed tea. 5% kick of alcohol. Look for those bright yellow cans. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted. Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly. Time for that Fantasy Minute with Dr. Z. Hello, Gibbe.
Real quick,
updates?
Injury updates. Now that both teams have finished practice, and I think we might be healthier this week than we were last week, if that's possible. Betonio full. Quinshawn Judkins, a full participant.
Oh, baby.
Not limited, not anything else. Full. Conklin, Hall, DeJuan Jones, and Denzel Ward all limited. On the Ravens side, Jair Alexander back to full. Matabike was limited, and then we said it earlier, Likely and Ricard are DNPs. I think Ricard, Star Trek for some reason. Wasn't there a Ricard?
Picard.
That was a Picard.
Jean-Luc Picard.
I didn't watch
Picard.
it. I just
Star
remember.
Trek's Next Generation.
Yeah.
That's what I think of when I think of Ricard. My dad was.
Your dad
hugely.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never took for me.
I like the
old
Next
stuff.
Generation. I watched some of that stuff.
Yeah, I never did. It was always on like Saturday afternoons late on the
He
West
loved
Coast.
Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, I got nothing on that. There was another one that a lot of people are really passionate about from that era, a science fiction one that I remember people saying that had like a
Buck Rogers.
Oh no, it wasn't Deep Space Nine.
Battlestar Galactica.
That's it. You nailed it,
That's
Kev. Kev nailed it. Battlestar Galactica.
My dad's into all that
Yeah,
stuff.
my dad
I'm
was
the
into that.
original Star
Yeah.
Trek with William Shatner.
There you go. Bill Shatner running around. Yeah. There you go. Let me ask you this: what do you do? I've always maintained that week one waiver wire. I mean, this isn't a revolutionary statement, but week one waiver wire is the most important because this is when, like, if there is a running back that pops. If you pick 10 in a 10-person draft, this is your time to get your – it's almost like a free draft pick for you.
Yes, I think that, what you really want to look at are guys that are getting opportunities. Like, for example, I think, some of the Browns were big waiver wire pickups. Dylan Sampson, Harold Fannin were definitely big waiver wire pickups. We're past that point now. Mostly all leagues have had their waivers run already. But I really liked Keyshawn Booty.
Booty, yeah.
I'm going to call him Keyshawn Booty.
I like that too.
Yeah, like the pirate.
The LSU kid.
Yeah.
I like it.
I love him. Drake May's throwing the ball to him. If you go back to last year even, played more offensive snaps than anybody who wasn't the quarterback or a lineman for them. So that's what you're looking for, guys who are getting opportunities. And then this week is also a lot about trade, buy lows. Like somebody's disgusted with what happened with Brian Thomas or Nico Collins or even, oh, man, maybe the Bengals aren't that good this year. And they want to give away T. Higgins or Jamar Chase or Chase Brown or Joe Burrow for, less. Go for it. Jump on it. That's what I would say in week one. But listen, you can't overreact to week one. You're going to chase some things. I'd keep an eye on like Calvin Austin. That seems real to me as the number 2 receiver there with Aaron Rodgers. So that's what you're looking for. There are multiple sites where you can play fantasy football. I've always played on CBS. Obviously, I work there. Those are my guys. And it's a very good one. If you happen to play in a league on Sleeper, which I do one league on there, you can look at that and they'll tell you the snap percentages for every player. So you get an idea of like, okay, was he actually playing a lot or was it just a kind of a fluky thing? And then you're looking for wide receivers and tight ends, guys who play high snap percentages. You're not looking for people that are not heavily involved.
You're looking for targets too.
You're,
like even the
targets, of course.
Looking for that.
Of course.
I know the Yahoo site, and I think I'm on Yahoo. My kids are on ESPN, and I think both of those have the targets one. So I'm always like, go to targets, see if they're being featured.
So I like somebody that's got to get a lot of targets, but I also want to know are they playing a lot?
Yeah, for sure.
Are they running a lot of routes, especially with the tight end? Are there snaps, passing snaps where they're running routes or not, and for running backs, are we playing on third downs? Or who's the goal line back? Things that you can pick up, like that. Certainly helpful.
Yeah, and, the other thing, like the game tonight, what is going on with the Washington running back room? So they trade Brian Robinson. They have the 7th-round pick, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who had more carries than anybody else in their room.
Yep.
So that's an attention getter. But is that real or?
He was drafted early in a lot of leagues because he was the most preseason hype guy. I am in one of my leagues.
I do too.
Is so mad, and I keep trying to trade him to him, and he just won't trade with me out of principle.
You're good because he feels like
if I'm willing to do it, it has to be bad.
There's got to be a problem. But that's one of those ones where, like, he's a guy everybody heard about.
Yeah.
So, like, I drafted him, and then he had a really good week 1. But then, like, before I insert him into a lineup, I want to see him stack it.
So yes, and I think this week will be difficult for him to do that. It's a tough matchup. Green Bay is an excellent defense.
Yeah.
He is in a committee. Here's the other thing about it when you look at Bill, as we call it, and that their social media team did a great thing with I'm Just a Bill, that old thing that we all watched when we were in school, which was pretty cool. Here's the thing that's tougher, I think, for me with him is you're looking for, in many cases, obviously from a fan standpoint, you want guys who do it all. And now in the case of Bill, we're going to go real quick to their snap count. So they had 70 offensive snaps. He played 23 snaps. Austin Eckler played 33. Jerry McNichols played 13. So he's only played 33% of the snaps. Okay, that's fine. That's not a big deal because he got valuable carries and he's at the goal line. So that's all good. He only got 1 target in the pass game.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have somebody that is kind of a 1 target in the pass game, especially when they've got Eckler, Eckler got multiple targets. McNichols is going to get targets if he's hurt. He is touchdown dependent. So he had 10 carries. Now, if you have a very good running back, averages 5 yards of carries, that's 50 yards. If you're not getting any receptions and you don't score a touchdown, that's just a 5-point fantasy game.
Yep.
So he's somebody that I like, and I do think as this season goes on, there's no doubt to me that he's going to end up in that Brian Robinson type of a role. That's why they traded him. Now, you'd say to yourself, can he be more than that? If you really believe in him, you're saying, yes, I think so.
Bless you.
The Brian Robinson role has been a pretty consistent role of about 800 yards, 900 total yards, maybe 1,000 total yards, and 8 or 9 touchdowns. So that is good. If you say, can I get that out of him, 1,000 total yards and 8 touchdowns. So we'll that's good. Not a ton of catches, but 1,000 total yards, 8 touchdowns. Yeah, that's a solid flex or even a running back too if the rest of your team is strong elsewhere and that's you're counting on him to do that. So, yes, I like him. I want more confirmation of 2 things. Number 1, that he's going to get a few more carries than that because you're looking at Brian Robinson in that role was in the 13 to, for his career, 14 carries per game. So that is a little bit more. He also was having about 2 catches a game. So when you're talking, 16 touches a game, now you're a real guy. When you're talking 10 touches a game, you're so touchdown dependent. So that's what I like. For example, that's a great guy to bring up. That's somebody that I will be monitoring heavily how that goes. And when he starts getting to the point where he's 15 carries, 1 or 2 catches, then he's an every week play.
Then he's back in. Yeah, those are the things to watch for early on in your fantasy season, kids. We'll open up that mailbag coming up next. You're listening to Cleveland Browns Daily. We're presented by Bally Bet, official sports betting partner of your Cleveland Browns. Please bet responsibly on 850 ESPN Cleveland. Cleveland Browns High School Game of the Week presented by Ohio Cat showcases the top matchups and rising stars across Northeast Ohio. Each week, fans vote for the game they want to see, and the winning team earns $3,000 in funding across plus spotlight coverage across the Browns' social channels. Did we pick one? Did I see that one's been selected?
I don't know if it's officially been selected.
Why did I think I saw it on a social channel?
I think there was voting still going on, but
let me just make sure, because I
maybe
thought I saw it on
under
our
Browns youth football.
The votes are in. This week's features game is Newton Falls versus Southeast. So it is. This is on our social channels from 40
I did
minutes ago.
not remember that being a nominee. I had Notre Dame Cathedral Latin and
Southeast and Newton Falls is your winner.
Okay.
So there you go. It is a mailbag, but next week we'll have 4 more games to pick from.
That's right. You have 4 every week.
4 every week.
From our high school panel.
Yeah.
Z, me, Dom.
Throw me on that sucker.
I think
Let me
you
get
need
on
to be
that.
on
Can I get on that high school panel?
Gabe would put Wadsworth every week.
Gee, man. He already got his big win last week.
He got a big
done.
win last
The Grizzlies are done for now.
I'll be happy to consult with you. We can share my vote.
It is a
I
mailbag.
mean, listen, I'm already college football Nate. I mean,
How many football things can you be a master of?
Yeah.
How many domains can you be a master of?
Yeah.
I don't know if you should answer that. The season's young.
Oh, it
There's
is.
plenty of time in the day.
All right, it's a Mailbag Thursday. Still time to get your questions in at Browns_Daily on the YouTube stream, youtube.com/Browns. Hello, Gibby.
Hi. We'll start off with that YouTube stream.
Go ahead.
We've actually got quite a few questions. Dan Opaterney, maybe? Sorry, Dan. No, it was Don. Yep. Totally screwed up your last name. Don, thanks for listening and thanks for the message. G-Man, stop it. A couple of weeks ago, Bo
G-Man,
mentioned that Joe
stop it.
Thomas recommended a pillow that changed his life.
Did.
Can he shout out the brand name to save my neck?
Yeah, hold on.
So
Go to the next question.
I
got it.
I just had this.
I did. I tweeted it out to somebody. Hold on.
Jeez.
Look at him.
Color combo. He's headed straight to Monaco.
Yeah.
Looks like he's headed for the Grand Prix.
All right. It is.
Keeping an eye on
Maybe he
Fernando
is.
Alonso, Lewis
Running a
Hamilton.
business.
It is
Max
the
Verstappen.
Fremont cervical memory foam pillow.
Did you find the link on Amazon, or did you?
Yeah,
just,
it says currently unavailable.
Yeah, so that's I found it, but it was like unavailable. I bought 2, and I've used it religiously now.
That's it, though.
That's it. I've used it religiously since the Hoff recommended it. I have dealt with back and neck issues forever, going back to high school football, and I have not had an issue. Knock on this CBD signed helmet right near the name of Jarvis Landry. I've not had an issue since.
Amazon says we don't know when or if this item will be back in stock. What's happened to it? Is it
I don't know.
Too much
Too
popularity?
good, maybe. I don't
Taking
know.
away
But
ice
it was
cream.
great.
Now you're taking away pillows.
What is going on?
The hell? I blame it on the stupid Ravens and their dumb 30th anniversary party.
Jim
on
Schwartz
Sunday.
not interested in it.
Not having it. Not
interested at all.
Garbage.
Ghosts of
I'll
the past.
reserve.
Cody messages the show on youtube.com/Browns. Gibby, I don't think the boys have apologized to you and to the listeners about the rain on Sunday. I got soaked. Also, Z, try a Ekibben, Ekibben, when you visit Baltimore. Best Taiwanese restaurant.
Oh, baby.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. I appreciate that. Secondly, you'll get nothing.
You'll get
like it.
nothing.
You'll get no apology from me. We said it was not going to rain game time, and I don't know if you were there, but it was pretty much perfect.
Yeah.
Not a cloud in the sky.
No.
Sunny. It's in the 60s.
The
Apologize for nothing.
We have to pay attention when people talk. What we said was, what is it going to be when the game is played?
Yes, during the game.
And it was perfect.
Perfect.
I can't be held
This guy's
responsible.
yelling more
8 o'clock. Like, who cares? Like, when's the game?
Yeah.
Game's at 1. That's what we were discussing.
I've never seen people, by the way, make more of early morning rain on that particular day. Like,
pretty worried about the early morning rain.
It was fine.
Hey, they were tailgating. Kind of damp. There was a wedding in the Muni lot, for God's sake.
There
That
was.
was. God bless him.
Hey, I think
Congrats.
rain's good luck, though, on the wedding day.
Congrats.
That's what Alana said. When are we getting permanent Gibby and G-Man cams from Cleveland, Fannin?
Oh, God.
It's a great
By
question.
the way, we have one camera. We're figuring out if we can mount things on this wall. Building
you are,
was
Gibby.
in the other day, so that's right. Pause. Stoney messages the show.
Wait till we get those new studios. You're really going to have some
The
camera
camera will
sets
just
up.
be in the hallway. There won't be even a camera on us. And I'm 10
Hey, if
feet
they
away
build
in
like the
another
whole
room.
thing and they forget like this.
Yep, exactly.
just forget it. We just have like.
I like where we are. I just want to be able to see Gibbe.
Yeah, I just see Gibbe.
Why
Why
you got a
don't
Gibbe cam? That should be a screen where I just where
You see
you're
Gibbe
right there.
cam? Yeah. Just you yelling at him.
Yeah.
why don't kickers practice at the stadium more often since it's a difficult
do.
place to kick?
They do.
They do.
I think they do.
Yeah, it's funny.
They do
A
every
lot of
week.
people say that, and it's like, well, actually, they do, and they have for a long time.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of times they're not even
Every
here for
week we play
practice
at home,
'cause they're
they
at
kick
the
in the
stadium.
Yep.
Jonathan Jordan, Hollywood
Oh,
Brown.
there's a Gibby cam.
Hi.
There he is. He's so excited.
Hi.
Hey, Gibby.
Hollywood Brown, George Pickens, Javonte Williams. Pick 2 of these 3 to start in my PPR league this week, Nate.
Definitely Hollywood Brown, and if it's a PPR, Javonte played well in week 1, but I think he's pretty touchdown dependent. Cowboys dropped so many passes in that game; it's really hard to believe. Dak actually played a phenomenal.
Dak was
game.
out of his mind. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Hollywood Brown, and I'm going to go with Pickens.
H. Schneider asks,
Oh,
do you
man, this
still
is
do
almost too
Cameo?
much.
This
Yes,
is unreal.
Of course I do. Yeah, this is pretty good.
Get my ball
That is
unit
so
off of the
awesome.
screen.
This is great.
No matter what happens in the
God,
next
you look spectacular.
15 minutes,
Look at the
we've
shine
won.
coming off
Look
of
at,
that.
Look at
the
this.
shine on that
This
head.
is
I haven't
so
seen.
great.
I haven't seen that head look that shiny since we were at Kalea, and it was like a faucet was under your scalp.
Give me one of these.
The owner comes over and she's like, "Oh, you don't like the spice," and he's like, "Oh, I'm doing what I can."
Give it. That's so good.
So H. Schneider.
Yes, I do. Yes,
it's
of
still the
course.
greatest value on
Of course,
Cameo.
bring it, H. Snyder. We'll do it.
Yep.
Brownie in AK. Does robbing dear sweet Gibby of his joy on a daily
No,
basis
this
come
is his
naturally?
splinter
This is your
cell.
burner. I've
It's your burner. It's your splinter cell.
This is totally
we
your
know
burner.
who that is.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't.
Yeah,
Oh, I
no,
bet you
I don't.
live in
I don't.
Alaska and work in the cold.
Yeah.
Gibby.
Give me a break.
Guarantee it's his neighbor.
me a
from
break.
Right
That
down
guy-
the street, Olmsted Falls.
guy is-
Probably plays in the hooligans.
This might be the best.
Guy's an absolute.
By the way, we're down to the
guy's
final
a-
4. We're
not
going to
a
have a
real
real champ
person.
this year.
Absolute plant.
Total plant.
Yeah.
Total.
If he's even real, I think it might just be Gibby.
Or one of his buddies.
Yeah.
This might be one of
In
the better
hooligans.
segments we've had in a while for the mailbag.
Might
One
be
of his little
Yeah, of
buddies.
course, because you're quoting your own burner.
Cherry picking your own burner.
Yeah. All right, Kevin Durant.
Easy.
Let's see. This gentleman, Fannin was talking as if Tommy calls plays. Who called the plays?
Kevin Stefanski. Tommy Reese is the offensive coordinator. So Tommy Reese is obviously heavily involved in the game plan and communicating that game plan, but Kevin Stefanski is the play caller.
Brian messages the show. Thank you all for this awesome show. To get my Browns
welcome.
fix on, had to move to Birmingham, Alabama for work 10 plus years ago, and the NFL doesn't exist.
The Vulcan.
There it
True.
is.
The Vulcan's down there. I had season ticket holder for the Birmingham
I love
Bolts
that
of
you
the
would
XFL.
come over from Atlanta to
Oh, yeah.
college, like drive
Pledges
over.
in the fraternity would drive us.
Drive us
We
over
had,
to
like,
Birmingham Barons
Oh,
games.
oh, it's amazing. It's the best.
I've only driven through Birmingham. I've never spent any time.
And I was there in Birmingham, was the site of when Arizona won the national championship. Their Elite Eight game was in Birmingham. They knocked Kansas off.
In the round of
and
16.
then the Elite Eight was them as a 4 seed against Providence, led by Austin Crocier and God Shamgod. And it was, I think, maybe even an overtime game. It was a very good game.
Yeah, that was
And
quality.
they won, and then they went on to beat Kentucky and North Carolina.
North Carolina, 3-1s along the way.
Only one ever.
Really ridiculous that they were a 4 against
Yeah.
that Kansas one, because Kansas was the overall number one.
Number one, yeah.
Overall number one.
Yeah.
That was
Rafe
not right.
LaFrentz.
Jock Vaughn, Jared Haas,
Jock
squad.
Vaughn, him and Meaty Cleaves,
Scott
most
Pollard.
overrated guys of all time.
They probably were.
Ugh.
Right there. Yeah. He at
know if I
least
can
had a
argue.
little
That's a great
NBA
point,
career.
Segura.
Yeah.
Like Meaty Cleaves.
Oh, it
nothing.
was the worst. Everything about that guy, terrible. There was nothing to like about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian
He wouldn't
wanted
have
to
done well
add
in
any
today's
update
world.
on Luke Floria. I don't think we have anything.
Floria.
Has anyone also asked Fannin about his brown and orange addiction?
No.
Love a dog today.
Give me
What
a
is
chance
what
about
is your
cat with
go-to?
guards.
What's that?
It's a cat with guards, with police escorts.
There you go.
Love a Dog today has 2 quick ones. What is your go-to bring for a picnic or potluck?
Whiskey.
I typically I invite people to my home and prepare them a
obviously.
feast. Yeah.
Set it down.
I don't.
Bottle of wine or a whiskey.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know the last time I went to a potluck.
I think potlucks
Or a
are really
picnic.
brutal. I think picnics suck.
I don't.
Just me.
I just don't do them.
I just think they suck. I don't want. Why would I want to be out in the elements for a bunch of time?
Come to me and we'll eat out on our patio.
That's fine, and then we'll have the accoutrements that
Yeah.
are there. I don't want to go somewhere and do that. I didn't like it as a kid. Couldn't stand it.
No,
I'm good.
I think that's gone the way of the dodo. I don't hear a lot about big picnics and potlucks and
that
parks.
was something that you did as a family, though. Remember, like when we were kids, it was like, oh, we're gonna go have a picnic.
We're going to the park.
Okay,
and we're gonna have.
It's a stream.
There's ants. There's flies.
Ants and elements and ducks and nonsense like pigeons and seagulls. Nah,
forget
about it.
I've got about 30 seconds here. Love a Dog today also wants to add, Bo, who would you compare Julian Sand to? Not a bad thing, but hard to get a hold of his personality compared to Will Howard last year.
Well, you got to remember, though, Howard did not show that personality until the Penn State game. That was the first time you really saw it. You also have to remember Will Howard played an entire career at Kansas State. He was a grown man by the time he got to Ohio State. This is an 18, 19-year-old kid in his second year on campus. He graduated high school early. So just give it a minute on that. Like, it'll come along. He's just a kid compared to Howard. Howard's like an NFL quarterback.
He's like
last year at Ohio State.
From a young Jeff George.
From a style of game standpoint, to me, he's a taller Bryce Young. That's what he is. And that's Bryce Young when the Heisman was the number 1 pick in the draft. So I think he's a taller version of that. So much more
Feels
to come.
good.
You listen to Cleveland Browns Daily on 850 ESPN Cleveland. All right, join Z and Gerard Thursday night, September 18th. That's a week from today, 7 to 8 for the Kevin Stefanski Show live from West Park Station in Cleveland's Cam's Corner neighborhood. Register to win Bud Light merch, Browns gear, and meet Browns left tackle DeJuan Jones. All brought to you by Bud Light. We have Thursday Night Football.
We
tonight,
do,
Gibby.
baby, and it's a good one. The Commies on the road, visiting the land of beer and cheese. Go Pack Go, hosting the Commies, Bo Bishop.
I took the lead last week, I believe.
Erroneous.
Didn't
I took the lead last
No,
week.
I thought I said.
Oh, I
there's
did.
no
I said they had no chance. You're like, I was hoping you'd say that. Play the tape. Guaranteed.
I thought I did it
It's a
last
guarantee. We had the same thought, which we're going to have again today.
All
I'm
right.
just curious what your thought is.
I feel like, to me, it feels like on a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
On a Thursday, it
It's
feels
Thursday.
like we're in for a classic, and I think Jaden with the ball.
Too much.
Too much. Too
Good
much.
news, Al Michaels will be involved the entire game.
Wait, no, what am I doing?
He won't be disappointed.
I forget it's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday. Bryce, our boy Jordan Love, and it's Green Bay, and it's Micah, and it's too much by $1 billion.
Oh,
Packers
by
by
$1
$1 billion. I think that's what I want to do on a Thursday. Yeah, that's what I want to do. That's where I'm at. Packers by $1 billion on a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
Okay.
That's where I'm at. We'll see. It's tough. It's a crazy number. It's a crazy
we'll
number.
find out. I like that. I really like that.
Cleveland Browns Daily, 850 ESPN.
I like it.